So I know it's been a while, and it's good to know that there are those of you out there who have patiently waited to hear from me again. Maybe some of you were concerned about my welfare, how I was doing. I'm doing fine, I'm great. But I've been looking around, and I see that there's a lot of people who are stressed about, the current events, and they're troubled because they don't know what to do. I'm talking about people out in the world, society. I've seen some of these interviews and some of these young protesters and stuff, and they're very stressed about, the climate change and what's going on because they sense in their hearts that there's something wrong. Many of these children or young people are products who have inherited, some of the sins of their forefathers, pretty much. And they understand that something's going on, and that they're a part of a covet that they had no choice to be in, but that's how things work sometimes, folks. I have a question for those of you who don't believe, or who haven't believed up to this point. Do you believe now? Do you believe anything I've ever spoken to you about what would transpire and why? So I've looked around and I've listened to all of these different things, and really today I'm talking to you is because the Most High actually instructed me to talk to you today. And I was waiting for him to give me the word of when I need to speak to you and why. And this is going to be very important because my message is going to be, straight to the point about certain things. I've looked around and listened to all of these so-called people in authority who have narcissistic minds, who have sociopathic tendencies, who have psychological problems, who are demoniacs with displaced conscious energy, who try to hold on to something that's not even of value. You want to hold on to your desk and, your nice posh office and all of these things that will be done away with because you want to hold on to some power. It's not even about what's going on. So I've listened to these people and all these scientists and theorists talk about ways to harness energy from the sun, whom you haven't paid. And I made that very clear many videos ago, that there was something to be paid, folks. And God is bringing a reckoning. He has called for it in all of your books and doctrines. He has specified exactly what he was going to do, how he was going to do it, to who in particular, and for what. But yet, you guys don't know what's going on. So you talk about we can harness some energy, and we can do renewable energies, and we can save money and do this and that. But you don't understand, money's going to be done away with. See, you're still coveting, you're still selfish and narcissistic because you're literally sitting here. The great sun can smack any of you and destroy you on the spot. However, you're sitting here trying to reason that if you're able to harness more energy from the sun, how you're going to charge people and how it's going to be cheaper. You talk in forms of commodity. And it reminds me of this YouTuber guy who annoys me, and I don't know his name. Actually, I do know his name, but I don't care to say it because he's in a covet. And he's one of these people, because you understand these farmers, folks, they farm for the government. These people have sprawling land masses and, masses of land, and they have all these animals and livestock and things, and they're able to buy nice cars whenever they feel like it and stuff, while you guys are busting ass working every day and not getting anything. So the covet works on that level where they may reason themselves as just dirt farmers and we don't have much, but you have more than the average person. You have land and all of these things. A lot of this land was taken from people. A lot of people, their bones were scattered on this land. You built land over this. Some of you guys, I've seen so many things, folks. Where I saw something where they did a report. Notice how all of these reports are coming out day by day. They discovered this, and they're giving you some truth because somehow they've reasoned that if we tell a little bit of the truth, God will spare us. Or maybe they're not thinking that. Maybe they're knowing that the time is imminent and they're trying to unearth things that they've never unearthed. Have you guys paid attention to the feeds? Every day we've discovered a new civilization. We've discovered this or that. And the people in cover are the ones who've held all of this information all your lives. You've never heard this stuff, but every single day they've made a groundbreaking discovery. Have you noticed this? Why? Why is it coming out now? Because we're in the last days, folks. So you farmers, and there's this guy on YouTube, and he irritates me because he's in the covet and he has the spirit of demoniac. And I recall looking at him on a video, crack a whip, and he was teaching one of his children how to crack a whip. And I want you guys to think about all of the dirt farmers of the past who cracked whips on the backs of other humans and treated them like livestock and commodity, right? And this farmer, and you farmers who lose all your crops and your animals are dying, I witnessed that too, where one farmer, his one of his pigs had piglets or something, and all of them were born dead. And you're cursed. And you say, well, we don't deserve a curse, but you do, because you're in a covenant. You don't understand. But this guy, every time I see one of his videos that comes up, and I don't know why I watch it for education, to understand who's who in this situation. But he tends to view his animals as commodities, folks. See, the people that have the spirit of the ham throwers that I talked about of past, they saw everything as a commodity, right? People. Even the animals, they're not in oneness with the animals because the animals are to be subjugated over. The animals are just for their purposes, right? So this guy, every time, you look at one of his videos, he's walking around his farm and he's pointing out what he's going to do next, and everything is about money, right? Which is not going to exist. Everything he looks at that's breathing and living is a commodity to be sold or eaten or something, and he reasons that, right? So you see him walking around, and every second he's going, yeah, I'm going to put some posting over there, and I'll get some chickens here, and this will net me this much, and I'll get this much a pound, and everything he says out of his mouth is based on the commodity, not an appreciation of the land or anything. And this is what you guys have done on the bigger level. That's why I say this is for the education. The majority of you people in the covet, even the people who give them the money, the rich folks who control the commodities, they have the same mindset, just on a different level. But the farmers, I use them as a lay example of how they calculate their chickens and how much the chickens are going to yield, and everything they do is like that. Now remember, these are the same people who have been given this land, and some of this land comes from their forefathers who took it from somebody else. So the guy walks around and he tries to pet his animals, and the animals always turn away from him. And while he's talking to the animals, he's discussing how he's going to eat the animals, not realizing that if he were in oneness with God, he would realize the animals actually can understand what he's saying about them. And that's why they turn away from him, because they know his spirit. He has the spirit of a demoniac, folks. Whether he knows it or not, his children, his family, all of them are cursed on a certain level. And I've heard these farmers talk about their great hardships this year and how they're not going to have crops, not realizing Mother Earth is providing the crops. Now we take this on another level, and you know that I'm in family with the heavens, folks. I know Mother Earth. I know why she's doing it. I know that she understands your hearts and your appreciations and your lack of praise to the Most High for the things He has given you, and that's why He's taking them, because there's going to be a reset. It's already being resetted right as we speak in different ways. So that commodity, that covet, if you guys pay attention, and this is going to be deep today, because we're going to take it to a level where I want you guys to understand. Many of you guys don't know what to do at this point. And there are those of you who are lost because you're lost to a lot of things of real reality. I told you God's name. I told you Harry, folks, Vishnu, folks, God of the universe. This is His name, folks. In higher reality, folks, on the other side of the galaxy, this is His name. He has many names that He's given your societies to get his message. But I'm telling you the realities, and I've given you example after example of the heavens and what they can do and why they're doing it, because they're in duty for him. But because of your egos, you want to take God the way you want to take him, where you learned it. So you argue about politics of religions and stuff like that, and you're getting caught up in all these foolishness is not really important. But I want you guys to understand that there is a bigger theme here. There's a bigger story. And I want you guys to look across the four corners of the globe, look around the whole globe and society. And you'll realize that there are people on all around the globe. There's a certain group of people who have been stepped on no matter where they have been, right? And I told you guys that this goes back before the Egyptians. This goes back to day one. Remember, the great sun was here from day one. The heavens were here on day one. You guys are talking about things you did 1,000, 10,000 years ago. I'm talking about day one. The race of people that were here from day one. Now, if you look at all over the globe, you look in different parts of the world, you'll find these indigenous people all over the world. You'll find them in Australia, you'll find them in India, and all of their cultures in that country will say that these people were here first. They were the oldest people. Even in this country that we're in right now. There was a group of people, but it's all hidden, folks. So when you covet who you think you are and you step on and reason that these people who have been written out of history on all levels, you don't reason that the real knowledge came from these people. Now, they had a covenant with God, the Most High. And it doesn't matter what country we're talking about. People don't reason that. They don't understand. You could be talking about India. These people are in India too. Right? And the Indians will tell you in India that this very group of people are the oldest people on the earth. But then you realize that that same story is true for, if you go to the Aborigines in Australia or any of these countries, you find this group of people that look a certain way. Some of you look just like these people, but because you have coveted to this group of demoniacs, you have sworn allegiance to them, and you don't even want to realize that you came from these people. Some of you look like these people to this day, but you will spit on these people and denounce your associations with them. And that is your covenant that you are cursed by, that you will be punished by, but you don't realize it. And everywhere I look, I see these people treated a certain way, like they're nothing. They're written out of history. People think they're dumb, but not realizing that God did that to them because they did something. They had a covenant with God and they did something, and God cursed them. But he said it was for a certain amount of time, folks. They're all around the world society. Any country you look at, you can find these people. Any of the things, the great wonders and architectures and technologies came from these people, folks. But you think you're better than them, so you don't want to even believe that. And that's why in the end, which is now, you'll realize the truth, and you won't go to this new society. You won't be a part of it because you have something wrong with your hearts. Right? You don't know that the devil has taken the reins of society, current society, and he has poisoned your minds with all of this bullshit, and he has told you that he brought the wonders when he's a liar. He's a fucking liar. Now, some of you are finding the light, and you will be welcome into this society. And so when I tell you God's name is Vishnu, you think of that country that he came from when he manifested here. But I want you to think about when he did manifest here in flesh, what did he look like, folks? What did his skin look like, folks? When the Most High God Vishnu walked this planet, folks, what did his skin look like, folks? So I want you guys to understand, all around the world,